Greetings, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jerry, and you have reached my channel. Carnivore Jerry, in the middle of the forest, that is. But we're not going to be talking about food. Today, we're going to be talking about the crazy busy medical week it has been in our house. Wowzers, where do I begin? I will start out with what the thumbnail denotes. Mayo Clinic either is insanely busy and do not have the proper amount of staffing, or they're doing things in a hasty manner just to make the bucks, get the tests, order this procedure, give Jack this prescription, which I'll get into next. Because today was to be the day that Jack was supposed to be having his Inspire surgery. And if you're wondering what the Inspire is, it took approximately 6 months to get to this date with testing and doctor appointments and sleep studies and more doctor appointments and more tests and more scans. And oh, by the way, when Jack was before his back surgery was to take place, the surgeon needed to go down into his esophagus to properly ascertain where the placement of the Inspire device was to go. And Inspire is the alternative internal for a sleep apnea machine, in which Jack has. Just so we're up to date with what Inspire is for those of you that don't know. Yesterday, when I got home, I asked Jack, what time do we have to be at Mayo for the surgery? He said the doctor's office called, nurse, perhaps a scheduler, called to say that his procedure, his surgery, had been canceled. To which, of course, you would say the same thing. What? We've been doing this, we have been training for this moment right now for 6 months to get to where we are now. And he said he had made 3 attempts to find out why the procedure was canceled. Well, ultimately he called today to find out that there was a medication that Jack had taken one day into the window of not taking medication. And allow me to explain what this new prescription was. When Jack saw his primary care physician in our closest town at Mayo Bloomer, it was to do a pre-op visit, make sure all the vitals were fine, all the medications were up to date, blah, blah, blah. Well, his primary doctor had pointed out to Jack that his A1C numbers are high. We know that. I know that. He hasn't been eating very much of anything, for that matter, because he has been having the oral surgery, basic removal of teeth, tending to teeth matters before he has a first set of dentures to be put in on the uppers. So his primary doctor had said, I need to order and prescribe Jardiance for you to help you lower your A1C. So We all know what Jardiance is because, let's be frank, we see it on the commercials with the people dancing in the streets saying Jardiance is the pill with the big story to tell, whatever. It's a cutesy, it's a little cutesiness. Jack did not want this. His primary doctor ordered it and told him to take it. But remember, his primary doctor is doing the pre-op surgery for the Inspire surgery that is to be done today. Had that done for it to be done. So let's all use common sense right now. Why would your primary doctor, knowing full well that a surgeon that tells people to not take prescriptions, blood thinners, etc., for a minimum, more often than not, could be 5, could be 7, could be 10 days, why would he prescribe and order Jardiance for Jack to take, knowing that he cannot be on Jardiance for X amount of days, unbeknownst to Jack? We are not medical professionals. I do not talk about anything medical on this channel. I just talk about how things work for me in my way of eating, or things that have worked in my past to bring my health to my level of happiness, or how I force things on Jack to give him the proper human diet. I am just blown away with the ineptness. We have telephone calls from Mayo and tests that they're trying to suggest we do. It's one thing if, for example, you have a pinched nerve and they want to, as they've done with Jack and myself, unpinch it, relieve the pressure. We all know what the circumstances are. If you have one surgery on a spine, the lower part, the coccyx right above that, your lumbar, if you have that fused, the doctors will say there may be a chance that the upper part will be strained, or you could perhaps require surgery on the upper part, and so on and so forth. After Jack had his back surgery, he had an MRI done because Jack is still complaining about having his toe numbness, foot numbness from the surgery. It did not shoot down the leg like it did with me, like a sciatic. That's not the case with Jack. Again, everybody is different. So his surgeon has suggested that perhaps they needed to go to the next level above the lumbar that he did correct, surgically infuse. So that's another procedure that we have to do from now until whenever. Again, with the Mayo Clinic, they called Jack last week and said that they would like a lower GI done. Usually, they order the upper and the lower GI, and they make a joke out of it. They say, well, first we take the camera in the upper before we do your lower GI. You guys have been with me last year when I had to drink that half a gallon of shenanigans, and then I fasted for it. So they're doing suggestive procedures and suggestive surgeries now, I believe, to gain more money, like they did with Jack when they got him in the door. His primary physician surely should have known the counterindications of that Jardiance in having that right before surgery. He should have said, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a lady. I'm an old lady living in the middle of the forest with my husband and a German Shepherd using my common sense. So if I thought that this pill, as a physician, should not be taken due to whatever conflicts with a surgical procedure, I would have told the patient, I recommend this to lower your A1C, like the commercial says, snicker, snicker. But don't take this pill until after your surgery, Jack. Everything would have been solved. So I am super frustrated at the system. I'm disgusted at Mayo Clinic. When we came up here, we thought they were the cat's meow. We came from Milwaukee, where at the time it was St. Luke's Hospital, hence Aurora is the blanket company over St. Luke's Aurora Medical Center. That St. Luke's had the biggest and the best heart hospital, in our opinion. We were very happy with that. Until Jack came up here for a short period, had another heart attack, and had to be flown with a helicopter they call up here in northern Wisconsin, Mayo 1. Since then, they have 2 helicopters. In Milwaukee, they called them Flight for Life. I'm sure around the nation, you all have different names for the helicopters that have to fly people in. So that had happened 15 years ago when we first got up here. So bottom line is, I believe, in my opinion, the way that I'm eating a proper human diet, yes, it's very meat-based, very meat-centric. And yes, I do have the occasional pickle. But what goes in our mouths is very important to the upkeep, overall general health of our bodies, and not a political matter whatsoever, but it needs to be addressed at a higher level other than having people, i.e. senior citizens, at home watching their Price is Right or their soap operas. Are there even soap operas anymore? I don't know. Nevertheless, and this spattering of pharmaceutical commercials which will help you from a broken finger to your A1C being too high, if you know what I mean, and everything in between. Not to mention what happens, worst case scenario, from taking these medicines. You know where I'm going. So yes, it's been a heck of a week, and you guys haven't seen me going back and forth to Mayo, back and forth to the dentist, because I want my channel to be a very happy place. I want my friendships to bloom, whether you're a subscriber now, thinking about becoming a subscriber, or have been a long-term subscriber and I call my friend right now. I want this to be a happy place, and I want to do more op-eds, more things that people can relate to, other than talking about the burger I'm going to eat for dinner today, if you know what I mean. So that's it. I am almost at Quick Trip. Gotta get Jack some milk. Got the cooler in the back of the rig. So let's go. If I have time later, or something pops up out of the clear blue, I'll be sure to tune right back in, get on camera, and touch base with everybody. But until then, have a profitable and healthy rest of your day. Cheers, everyone. And it's time for conference room lunch. This is what I'm having today. I made myself 3 boring meat cookies, just plain. I did not have any cream cheese so that I could make carnivore Oreos. So it is what it is. I have some of the keto brick carnivore-ish tallow bites. I do not have sweet cravings. I really don't. I love these. And I saw them in the freezer, so I said, Jerry, grab them. And I did. And then, drum roll, please. Not a carnivore. Do you see what I see? That's right. Pickles. Pickles. I think I told you guys I hate watching people eat on video. All that smacking and slurping and mukbanging, that's not for me. One thing I forgot to film, and I just regret it, because I was watching Hope and Andy take Ralphie to the groomer. So Ladybug had her Zoom and Groom, that's the name of the company, by the way, Zoom and Groom, came this week, and they groomed her, and the coat that was on Ladybug was all over Felicia, and she adores Felicia. It's so good. Now, not the horror story that we had previously when we used to take our German Shepherds into Eau Claire and get them groomed. It's so relaxing, it's so peaceful, and I think it's more economical to have them come to me than us drive to Eau Claire and take her for a grooming. Minus the movie, minus the dinner, minus the gas, minus the time. All of that stuff is very important. At least it is to me, especially because of second shift. So second shift for me this week had been pretty trying. It really had been. So I just have to breathe and breathe. We had a lot of appointments that we had to jam in, and I just couldn't run around and do the day in the life or week in the life or the weekly vlog. So I'm sorry, folks. I want to do a Sunday live. Now, I'm saying this right now, not sure what time it's going to be. It's after I get back from church at noon-ish. So look for that to come. Thank you, Cindy, for reminding me. And lastly, I want to talk about how we creators support other creators. Now, I want to talk about a couple of people. Chris Cooking Nashville always shouts me out, and I appreciate that, Chris. The amount of people that you bring to my channel is a joy to my heart. Thank you, Ash and Chris. Chris, say that fast 3 times. I appreciate your efforts in shouting me out. I really do. And speaking of shout outs, I want to continue that on Sunday. I have somebody totally different, not keto related and not carnivore related, that I wanted to shout out the channel and bring her more subscribers. And how we, as creators, don't have to necessarily give money. I mean, it's good because what they produce for us costs money. So it's good to give the super chats, and it's good to give the memberships. And for me, like I said, one in particular, Chris Cooking Nashville and Ash Taylor, I support their channel on the Mighty Networks. So you can support your creator by simply going down below, switching up that algorithm. You know, maybe if you're a creator and I come to you and I buy some, I don't know, collagen from your site. You might want to go on your channel and comment on maybe somebody's videos that purchase from you. Maybe you want to like, subscribe if you're not always subscribing. You don't necessarily have to give money, though, like that old saying in Milwaukee for the arts program, don't just applaud, send money. That's good. But if you can't send money and you're financially strapped, by all means, support them, like them, comment, share. If you have a channel, shout them out. All these little things are free that you don't have to give all the time. So thank you very much for those of you that honor me on your channels with your support. Thank you much. I am going to close it with my lunch video today. Back to the meat cookies. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a pleasant rest of your day, whatever time of day it is. Cheers, everyone. It's time for me and the pickle to be friends. Toodles.